Here on the Faulkner Focus, February is an American History Month celebration of Black Americans who continue to do great things. The latest census data show about 195,000 Black-owned businesses in the United States, employing some 1.6 million workers. So that's the economy. And in the nation's military, about 18% of active duty service members are Black Americans across all branches. And in political leadership in America, a growing embrace of the Republican Party and more generally of American conservatism. In the current Congress, there are 5 Black Republicans. That matches the record set in 2022 through 24 for the highest number of Black GOP members since the Reconstruction era more than 150 years ago. Now, when it comes to casting a ballot, so here we are with all the voters. What does that look like? President Trump's share of the Black vote grew significantly from 2016. And you can see much of that was driven by Black men. Look at your screen. Some voters began to see the Democrat Party taking their support for granted. A lengthy New York Times piece written after the last election lays out how the Harris-Walz campaign didn't even bother to court the Black vote until it was too late. Here's a quote. The chairman of a county Democrat party in rural Georgia with many Black voters said this: the Harris campaign's get out the vote operation had been non-existent, even as he had pleaded for resources. He told the Times, quote, they did nothing, absolutely nothing. They thought those Black voters are going to come home. They will vote for Kamala Harris regardless because she is a Black woman. President Trump took no vote for granted. A bit of his second inaugural address here.
As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come.
In Focus Now, millions of people hear them each week. Conservative podcast host Devori Darkins, April Chapman, podcast host and Turning Point USA Rise leader, and podcast host CJ Pearson. And you've taken a part in some of our roundtables and more. Great to see you all. April, I want to start with something that you have said about Black History Month in particular, and why you think that it's incredibly important now for us to recognize it, but to also know the truth.
Yeah, the truth is, for so long, every time you've had a conversation about Black History Month, it's always been us focusing on the oppression, focusing on slavery. And it's not that that storyline is not true, but it's something interesting that President Trump recently said. He wanted to focus on the triumph, the valor, the way that we showed up in the first Rhode Island and during the Revolutionary War and fought side by side with white men for the independence of this country. Those are the things that I want to focus on. The Buffalo Soldiers, or the 54th Massachusetts, who fought in the Civil War. They fought and labored alongside other Americans to demonstrate that this country is as much ours as everyone else.
All right. I want to put that question to everybody about this month. Devori.
Yeah, to April's point, I think when you talk about Black history, you have to talk about all history, not history that is filtered through the lens of how someone views their politics, but the actual reality of what happened. Black Republicans, Black conservatives play a huge role in Black history. I don't think it actually gets enough attention.
Why do you think it doesn't?
I think it's by intention. I think many on the left would rather those in the Black community see themselves as victims and never as victors. But when you look at Black history, there's no way to actually celebrate it without looking at the contributions of Black businessmen, Black billionaires, Black inventors. All of those things are a part of not just our history, but American history. But to go even further, when you talk about the inclusion of Black conservatives in Black history, you look at the teachings of folks like, Booker T. Washington and Martin Luther King Jr., who implored the Black community to work hard, to play by the rules, and to believe that the content of our character matter a lot more than the color of our skin. Those are conservative values. The left tells Black Americans that the most important thing to us is the color of our skin. The right says the most important thing about you is the fact that you're an American and you want to work hard and achieve the American dream.
Well, when you want to control somebody, you tell them that's the most important thing about you to you.
You're right.
Exactly.
But actually, it's the most important thing about you to them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Talk to me. Let's do a little myth busting.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing I want to get to. And I'll start right with you, CJ.
I think, one of the biggest misconceptions about black conservatives is the fact that we are ashamed to be black. I'm not ashamed to be black in any way whatsoever. What I would be ashamed to be is a Democrat, to continue to vote for a party that uses and abuses my community, sells us one dream and delivers on it never. Black lives don't ever matter to Democrats. Only black votes do. They think that they're entitled to our vote, that they don't have to earn it. And so I'm proud to be black, but I'm more proud to be an American. And honestly, I'm proud to never have ever voted for a Democrat any day in my 23 years of living.
I was going to say you've only voted a couple times. All right. What about you, April?
I'd argue something that in the pre-roll right before we started the segment, we heard President Trump do something that you've never seen people on the left do. He thanked the black Americans and the Hispanic and the Asian voters who came out and showed up for him. And as a result, he's delivering results that we can measurably see, not taking our vote for granted, but acknowledging this demographic. They are a part of America just as much as the rest of us. However, you need to thank them, and then you need to deliver results. You can't just assume that that vote belongs to you. And something interesting that the Harris-Walz campaign, they just assumed that the vote was theirs. I look at the black community for so long. We've been what I call electoral serfs. They just treat you as if they own you, kind of like a piece of property. And so to be a black conservative, I think the biggest myth is that we're the sellouts, but we're actually the ones that function in our freedom. We're unafraid. Wow. It takes an incredible amount of courage and bravery to go against your family, to go against what everyone in your community is saying. Those people right there are the problem. And you're like, no, I don't believe that. And just to piggyback off what he said, I don't mind. I dare you to judge me by the color of my skin. There's nothing wrong with the color of my skin. Underestimate me at your peril.
I see you, April. Yes. Devori.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest myths I've heard is that we're looking for acceptance, that black conservatives are looking for acceptance from white people. The bottom line is if we needed acceptance, we'd actually be Democrats, because that's their attitude. We should be accepted, included. When really, in my mind, black voters just want economic freedom. The Republican Party continues to lead with that message, which is why they've been attracting young black men. We already know the 10-point shift away from Democrats to Republicans over the past 4 to 5 years. And I think the results tell the story. Economic freedom is what our focus is on, not the color of our skin.
Devori, who are you watching for in terms of black conservatives who are running in the midterm elections?
Yeah. So Sheldon Daniels, Texas 30, was going to be Jasmine Crockett's district, but she's on to bigger, better things, right? I love his message of common sense. That's what made me attracted to him.
All right. The three of you, it's been wonderful to have you. God bless. Thank you so much.